I'll go over NWC and a couple more like more instruments, which you can see here, right? Like these are the ones that you guys requested like previously. But of course, I'll also include practical examples on how to draw trend lines and so on. So on NWC, right, on daily time frame, we already know that we are overall bearish from a long-term perspective, just like Bitcoin and many many altcoins. We had our first impulse, a correction, and an impulse movement. So starting from here, if you want, let me show to you in an easier manner. So that's it. So starting from here, since we have a big lower low and a big lower high, we can draw this channel, right? This channel will show us the overall bias, the overall movement, and so on. So clearly from here, for the bulls to take over, we know that we are bearish. We know that for the bulls to take over, we need to see a break above this entire channel. In this case, we'll be expecting a long-term bullish movement. However, what happens if you click on play and you can see that price kept moving lower from here, instead approach the lower band, which I consider an oversold zone, right? Approached it. So starting from here, I'm already looking for buy setups because now we've got so much room from here to here, right? So I want to catch what? A correction movement, and it would be a big one because it's from a channel from daily, and it's a big channel from daily, as you see. So this is why, like, for those who have been following me or like following these sessions for a while, like know exactly that during this time we were looking for buy setups here to catch this movement upward. Anyway, let's click on play and find out what happens. Here we go, right? So since after we have the breakout of the channel and above this minus point resistance here, which would be around 0.08, we went long. We're expecting a movement where to the upper trend line, which is this one around 0.16. Okay. And here, again and again, for those who watch the series, for these sessions around this area, we already know that I said that, okay, for the bulls to take over, we need to see, just like we said here, an aggressive break above these two things that might hold it back, trend line and resistance. So now we are here and we have two resistance zones, right? The trend line and the resistance lining up, forming an even stronger resistance and lining up with the support, right? So as I said here, we want a break above it. In this case, the push will take over and we'll be expecting a longer term bullish movement. In this case, this correction would be extended to become an impulse. And then we got a correction, an impulse, and blah, blah, blah. However, we kept on moving lower, and this was our support area. Here we go. Okay, so previously we looked for buy setups here, and if we break it down, like as I mentioned previously, that will be trading till this rejection zone, which is what happened. Trade it lower. That's it. Okay, because we had a demand zone and previously a support, turned resistance, blah blah blah. So that's it. We rejected it. Rejected what? The previous resistance, which was a support. Okay, and now let's click on play again. Okay, and voila, we are currently here. So long story short, we are currently where? Around the support. So looking for buy setups, just like here, we know that we might have a resistance here, right? So looking for a short-term buy. If we break it upward, that's why you see my alert here. We'll be expecting a longer-term bullish movement, but this is still a resistance. So we might still trade lower before trading higher. So that's why and I'll keep an eye on this one. If we break it upward, then here we go. We'll be expecting a bullish movement. But again and again, let's take it step by step. Around this area, looking for buy stops. And as you can see, I got my alert here. I had it here previously. It went off. And now I've put my alert again. I put it here. So if we dive inside the demand, which is this entire zone, I also want to know, to me that the price would be attractive on NWC around 0.08. Now, if you zoom into H4 time frame, we previously had this trend line, which we drew from here, right? So a low, a high, a lower high, a low, a lower low. So we drew this trend line, and here we go. Price rejected the lower band, traded high, rejected the upper band, traded lower, and so on. So now since we got like many wicks, let's optimize it to connect as many points as possible, which is this one. And okay, give me a second. Okay, let me take a sip as a break. Cheers. Okay, and make an offset for it. That's it. Now around the support area, if we zoom even lower, we can even draw one more trend line, which is this one. If you want, let me appear not on H1, that's it. Okay, a shorter term trend line lining up with the longer term trend line from H4. So from here, right, to buy a short term buy setup, right, till around this area, as I mentioned previously, like which would be like, I don't know, like 20-25% increase, I need to see a break above the previous major high, which is for now is this one. Okay, so the best case scenario, that's why I have my alert right here, is if we trade a little bit lower, form a new high till around these lows, and then here we go, and then break it upward, or even like this. Okay, or even like this. That's it. Okay, trade lower, fill this demand, trade higher, form a new low, sorry, a high, and then break it upward. Okay, this would be to me the best case scenario. Let me draw it right here. Let's go for orange, and that's it. Okay, this is from a short-term perspective, and of course, I can even make an offset for it, and that's it. This is how you treat like your trend lines as a trigger. But of course, I don't just like buy because like a trend line is broken up or down. I always wait for extra confirmation, which would be a major high to be broken upward. So, for example, here, if you break the trend line upward, okay, I will not buy because this is because like this one is it can be drawn like this. Right, so this is why like we just throw it for overall bias for overall direction, but we don't buy because it's broken. Okay, we wait for the last major high to be broken and then we buy. So if you break it upward, we will not buy. We'll be waiting for this break and then we'll be entering the buy because price can still get higher, reject this high, trade lower again. Okay. Okay, that's it for NWC. Wow. Okay, I'm checking the chat. We've got so many questions. Okay, DJ, sorry being late, just leaving work. Okay, sure, no problem. Bukarik, when we're expecting the next bull run? Okay, very good question. I'll answer it in a bit. Nice to see you this on YouTube. NWC forever. Fantastic, Cesar Kurt. Ace, no one knows, bro. Oh, okay, you are answering. You're answering Bukarik. Okay, yeah, very good answer, Ace. But of course, like, I also answer it from a technical perspective now. Okay, great. So that's it. Okay, to answer your question, Bukarik, it depends. Okay, it depends on where the last high would be broken. For now, the last major high is where is clearly this one, okay, which we can see also very clearly from weekly time frame. Okay, that's it. And as I told you, if you remember last time, or like, yeah, I guess last time, to have a full reversal, we need three things. Okay, we need a breakout above three things. The first one is what? The trend line. Okay, so first a trend line, and this trend line is not broken because, as I told you, you can draw it in multiple ways. For example, you can draw it like this, right? In this case, it's not broken. Okay, but anyway, I'll keep it just for all direction. First, I want to see this movement. This movement, every possible scenario of the trend line would be broken. First, trend line. Second, the previous major high, which is this one, around 25K. Okay, that's second, which is the high. Third, we also need to see a break above the last major resistance, which is clearly the 30K. Okay, so for now, if you apply this like if you want like this strategy, this is like secret sauce, or I don't know whatever you want to call it. If you apply this, we need to see a break above the 30K now. Okay, and once we have this break, now we can say that, yeah, the next bull run might start. Okay, now if we trade lower from here, okay, let me If you trade lower from here, okay, then the 20K would become the last major high, the trend line break, the next resistance break. So 20K would signal the start of the bull run. Okay. This is basically it. Okay, that's it. Let me move forward for the other ones and give examples on trend line. Okay, so let's like Joseph requested this one. It's called yeah, it's called like Galatasaray. Okay, so this is why like we added it here. We were waiting for a break above this one, didn't happen. If you go to H4, like we kept on moving lower and lower. So for now, I can't really say much except that from a long-term perspective, we still need to see a breakup of this. Meanwhile, as mentioned previously, we can still trade lower and lower. But the good thing is that now we are approaching this lower band, and you can draw, for example, this one like this, make it a little bit lower to touch these ones, and then make an offset for it, and here we go. Okay, so we are currently retesting this entire area. So for the bulls to take over from a shorter term perspective, we need to see a break above this high here. If you zoom in lower, we can see that it's currently around 2 round number. We can even zoom lower and lower to H1, and that's it. Let's go for orange, make an offset for it. That's it, and that's our 2. Okay, from a short-term perspective, again and again, want to see this break, we'll be expecting a short-term one, and then this for the bulls take over from a long-term perspective. If you go to H4, let me make it appear on H1. That's it. So for now, it's here. If we form this one, we'll be updating our zone from here till here. But for now, let's keep it up there. And this would be from a short-term perspective. As you can see, this is how we treat our trend lines by connecting multiple swings, at least 3 swings. If you draw a trend line by connecting only 2 swings, it would be an idea, but it wouldn't be a valid one. Okay, as you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Multiple ones, and you can draw it in multiple ways. That's why we don't rely on it. So for example, you can draw it like this, right? You can make it a little bit lower, you can make it a little bit higher, and make it from here to here, right? To connect these ones, you can start it from here, you can start it from here, and blah blah blah. Okay, so you can draw it in multiple ways. That's why you don't rely on the trend line like to enter. So if it's broken upward, we don't buy here, because price can still trade lower and lower, because we can draw this exact trend line just like, just like this, by connecting these highs. Okay, anyway, let's keep it as is for now.